Today we're going to dive into brand new Danessa Myricks Lightwork IV palette, also chrome amplifiers brushes. By the way, did you know that with any purchase of new palette, you're gonna get these brushes as well? We're gonna be talking about that a little bit later, but right now let's jump into some swatches, textures, application, performance, and packaging. I tested this palette yesterday. I created this look today. I wanted to give you my feedback, what I liked about it, what I didn't like that much about it, so that I can give you the most information that I can. Plus, if you want to see how I created this look with this palette, then keep on watching. So this is how packaging looks like. Inside is the same. For whatever reason, I was expecting this palette to be bigger. I don't know why. When you open it, you're gonna get written down the textures of these products. So in this palette, we do have 8 velvet chromes, 2 glass metallics, 2 pressed chrome flakes, and 2 aqua chromes. This is all shiny, metallic, chromatic palette. You don't get any mattes from here. I'm gonna tell you right away, textures to work with are not easy whatsoever. This is actually a hard palette to work with unless you're going to use these velvet chromes, which they are so smooth. You can put them on the eyelids. That's the easiest thing to do. But if you're going to mix everything and to apply that on top of, like I did, the rest of my makeup, then combining it with mattes and everything else, it's a real challenge. Let's go now into each individual shade, and the first one is Trance. This one is really smooth, buttery, velvety feel like when you swatch it. I think this one is the least shifting out of them all, but it's really easy to apply. It's really smooth, and that's what I like about it. Now, Nirvana is one of the shades that is most wearable out of them all. It shifts from mustardy green to this orangey bronze kind of shades depending on how you look at it. So now we have different texture. This is glass metallic. For a product to be named like that, it is too powdery, like particles are going out, and I don't like the pigment on it. It's not that much strong. Also, I think it's too dry. I would expect much more shine out of it. So I wasn't really much impressed neither with the color or with the finish. Sixth Sense, it's beautiful. It's hard even to describe this shifting. It is another velvet chrome, from strong neon green to light purple, I guess, blue purple. So all of these velvet chromes, they are super smooth, super easy to apply. I love that. Now this one is out of body. It is something that I'm wearing today on my eyes. It's shifting from green to blue. It's so beautiful. It has beautiful shifting. Another velvet chrome is Zen. This is kind of strong green shifting towards dark gold. Beautiful. Now, Angels is something that I am wearing as well today, but again, another glass metallic formula. I don't like it. I just feel like it's too powdery, and I'm feeling like it's just sitting on top. It's not mixing with, if that makes any sense. Again, just not that much impressed with it. Trippy, one of my favorite shades, which I haven't used today. Beautiful, from pink to green. I would call this fiery pink. Fiery dark pink to green, from dark to light green. Escapism. We have lots of greens in here actually. This one is neon green to light teal blue color. And the last one out of the velvet chromes is Awakening, which I'm wearing today. Beautiful. Shifting from purple to teal blue. So these are all velvet chromes with glass metallics. Now when we talk about Pressed Chrome Flakes, Heaven and Paradise, I both have them on my eyes. So this one is Paradise on my liner, and the Heaven I have on my eyelids, and actually it's breaking up. It's not holding that good. This one is, and I know it will, but even though I'm having dry eyelids, this one is not holding up. It's the weirdest product. I literally had to take my time to kind of press top of it and to really working these flakes, warm them up kind of. If you take too much, the flakes are going to fall apart. It can make your skin wrinkly, so be careful how much you put on. The shifting also is really strong. It's beautiful from green to pink purple. Then also we have Heaven. Same situation here. If you are going to use this type of product, you need to invest some time to work it in. Also, because it is so challenging, that's why she made these amplifiers, because when you press on with the silicone brush, then the product reacts differently. I don't like this for application of the product. I'm really used to my all-time favorite brushes, but it is working for this product. But still, also you can use your finger, especially for these chromes. Then when it comes to Aqua Chromes, first concern that I had with them is that they are water activated, meaning the water will break them down. Again, the good thing is they don't move. They're smudge resistant, but if the water comes in, that's why I didn't use them today into my waterline or anything, because the water would break them, and then I would have a mess of my eye look. So unfortunately, I didn't implement them into today's video, which it was my intention, but I just gave up. But I will continue to try to test them to see how they work. These two colors, Intuition and Aura, are pretty much, I would say, similar. It's not that much of a difference between the colors. The Intuition is more on the blue, Aura is more on a purple side. The price point for this palette is $125 US, which is, I know it's a lot, but if you would look at the multi-chrome story, and if you would buy them from the indie brands, it would cost you even more. They are hard to formulate. I see these for the editorial looks, and if you're into more creative looks. But other than that, this is definitely not your everyday palette to wear. And something I was confused about, I think even that the price was $125 for as with discounts. So I don't know how much actually this was. So for me, because I ordered this from her Europe side, was 128 euros, and the amplifiers were almost 15 euros. I got them for free. So in total, you got 7 brushes. The smallest one is like the liner brush, and it's good for Aqua Chromes, but I also use it today for my Pressed Chrome Flake. Then we have 2 kind of similar liner brushes. One is angled, one is just flat. 2 brushes that I use the most and I did like was these 2 pointy brushes. I find them much more useful for what I needed. These 2 larger brushes I didn't actually use that much. The bigger one I didn't use, but the smaller one I used for the lighter part of my eye. And without any further ado, let's jump into this tutorial so you can see this palette in action. Awakening was the closest shade for the look that I've created today. Just a transition from what I have towards this middle part, which is lighter. Because of its shape, one of these 2 brushes will work perfectly for a transition. As you can see, they still have sparkle in it. I still have to figure how to clean this properly. Yesterday was my first time trying this out, and as I'm used to regular brushes, I can't even start to explain how different this is. Like, this is silicone, and these chrome amplifiers, they are so different than anything else I've tried. This is the brush that I'm going to be using just because of its edge. It will hopefully help me not to get out of my line. I am pressing this shade. So the good thing about this brush is that it will press the pigment and it will stay on the brush. The worst thing you can do is to take, for example, fluffy brush and to use it on this pigment. Let me show you what I mean. So using this brush, even though pigment may be around, you can still press it in and it stays on the brush. Meanwhile, for example, if you're using blending fluffy brush, any fluffy brush, the pigment will go everywhere and you cannot have that pigment in place, and that is not what you want, especially for shining multi-chromes textures like this. And let me just tell you, they won't even go, not even close to these pressed flakes that we have. It's a totally different texture, which I will explain a little bit later, but it's a huge difference. Don't use brushes like this. I also love the big size mirror that we have. I'm thinking, why is it so blurry? But it's a double seal for the mirror. The goal right here is not to go from the end. I will leave a little bit of matte, and now I'm pressing. Can you see? Now I am pressing this shade. In case you don't have amplifiers like this, use small flat brush. Obviously they have bristles, but you can use either smaller brush like I'm going to do now. just press that brush on top of the pigment. And now same thing goes for my inner corner. I'm starting with the same color and I'm using this brush, but just for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm gonna use this brush right here. This one is meant for the Aqua Chromes, but let's just try this one for this as well. I already know some of the pigments will go around, but I feel much more secure with this type of brush. It is so small, that's what I need. See what I'm talking about? If the brush is not stirred, the pigment will go everywhere. While if your brush is flat, look what it does. It will press the pigment back and it will stay on the brush. But not the biggest fan for this type of brushes. I'm guessing it's what I'm used to. Maybe I'll even give it a try. So I am pressing, that grabs beautifully. I feel like this part is going really quickly. It took me a long time to create this. Next shade I'm using is Out of Body. Applying this color next to this one. Trying to blend this color into this previous one. Also, I want you to know that when it comes to multi-chrome, to see all of its shifting is the best way to put one multi-chrome all over your eyelid. But that's not what I'm doing today, just because of this video review purpose. But in general, that's the best way to see everything that multi-chrome. I am repeating the same thing on this side as well. It is time for the middle part of this look, and I will be using two products, Angels and Heaven. They do have totally different texture, and the reason why I'm using both of them is because Angels is way lighter and I want really light middle part. So I will be using this brush right here. But for these types of a shadow, even in this palette, you don't need this brush. You can use just your regular flat brush. Now with the same brush, what I'm gonna do is to press this into Heaven shade. When you are dealing with the chrome flakes, you do need time, and put a bit of pressure onto these chrome flakes so that you can just break into the surface. And because it is weird texture, these are the hardest to work with. So with the same brush, I'm just slightly tapping from the middle. Also, I'm gonna use my finger and just again take my time to warm this product up. I'm gonna put a little bit on my finger first. Definitely the weirdest formula I've been working with. I'm gonna move on to the next step, which is adding some interesting detail into this look. And for that, I'm gonna be using Vaseline and also this brush that came with this collection, actually with this palette. I love how sharp this brush is. Of course, working with Vaseline doesn't make our job easier. Again, I'm used to doing this traditional way with a regular brush, but again, for this video performance, I will be using these brushes as much as I can. I feel like this right here will take this look to another level. Now went in with my MC gel eyeliner in number 77 with a small previous brush that I've used. Don't you worry about this bottom part, we will clean that up later. What I'm worried about right now is to connect everything really sharp. So I have to switch to even smaller brush. I'm constantly checking when I close my eyes where I am with this line. Am I with the alignment with the rest of the look? And also one trick that makes this easier and sharp for you, just pull your eye on the opposite side when you are pulling your line. So it'll make it more straight. Now we're gonna go into Paradise shade. Worst brush to do this, but I need a really small brush. I am not rushing with this. Same thing, same formula, same type. So breaking the seal and applying that onto this black liner. Actually, it works. Whew, that looks nice. Now let's go and focus on the lower lash line. My base is here. And going in again with a Prophecy. I'm kind of connecting this with this liner. So I want to have one sharp line as well right here. Oh no. Do you see this? Can you see how this is breaking? I do have really dry eyelids, and for somebody that has oily eyelids, this is definitely not gonna work. The only way it can potentially work if you use really specific primer that will be much more on a sticky side, so it can kind of absorb all the oils, but I'm not wearing this all day. I'm wearing this for 3-4 hours, I think. What I can say for this right here, this is the same formula eyeshadow, and this one will stay, it won't go anywhere. But to use this in the middle of your eyelids, unfortunately, this is highly not gonna work. And again, the reason why I haven't used these Aqua Chromes, it's because they are water activated, meaning the water will break them. I tried them yesterday on my eyelids. I didn't like them, and I'll probably give it another shot. I like them on my arm, the way they swatched, but other than that, not really. Now I'm taking shade Zen. We'll connect that shade from the middle towards this prophecy color. Look how effective this is in just kind of one swipe. It's finished my inner corner with the prophecy shade again. I still can't believe this has started to break in the middle. I really did have high hopes for this one, but it is what it is. I've seen people struggling with this as well. Now I'm taking shade Kyle and just apply that on the edge just a tiny bit. And that is about it for now. I will finish the rest of my makeup, my hair, everything, and I will be right back. So do you really need these brushes with this? They're really, in my opinion, really weird to work with. Their intention is great for the product formulation, but to work with they're so different from the regular brushes that you have to get used to them, I guess. I bought this palette from her Europe website and I purchased it right away on September 13th, but it wasn't shipped, unfortunately, until September 21st. It came really fast, September 23rd. It took over a week for them to ship. They said when I reach out to them, they're gonna ship the same day. But before that, even I contacted them and they asked me if I wanna wait for these chrome amplifiers. I said, no, thank you. I just want my palette as soon as possible, just because I wanted to review this for you. And in the meantime, they did send me these amplifiers, so that's a good side. But the bad side is that I waited a lot just for this palette to be delivered, when obviously could have been delivered, I think, way faster. But in the end, I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue using these amplifiers. When it comes to palette, I will definitely use this for my creative works. I do love multi-chromes. Are these better than the indie brands? I would say she did a great job formulating this. I don't see myself using these Aqua Chromes and these glass metallics. Not something I'm into when it comes to formulation, unfortunately. Out of everything, of course, I love my Velvet Chromesy here. And for today, that will be it, guys. Before you leave, make sure to watch this video, and I hope you like this review, and I will see you in my next one. Thank you. Bye.